Check, 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 check. BandLab Plus, coffee. Let's take a listen. Let's jump into two things I love and one thing I want more of. Thanks, as always, for waking up, winding up, and queuing up another excellent BandLab track with me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to BandLab Plus. That's not coffee, but it's time to wake up, wind up, and queue up another excellent track. This time we're doing it live. We're doing it on the fly, and it's MzAmi here on the lab with HeavyHead, released on March 4th, 2024. Let's take a listen. Inspired by Samuel P. Lauzon? Music is my getaway, my medicine. Music is simply a part of. That's okay, it happens to all of us. I'm not going to be able to control my mic volume since I'm not recording separately, so if it's a little lower than it normally would be, forgive me. Love that we have the lyrics here. That was good. I like those phonetics. Oh, I see. No worries. MzAmi's in the chat. She actually says she sang the final lyrics right, just wrote them wrong in the lyrics. So we know. Really good, moody guitar. Absolutely gives me Cedar Evanescence vibes. I love that. I want to hear like in background vocals. Welcome to everyone in the chat. We're checking out HeavyHead by MzAmi. Make sure you jump over, give her a follow, hit that like button. Love button. Guitar solo. Yes, plays on. I've seen him around recently on trending lists, I think. Ooh. Wounded or happy. I like how the drums are not just 1, 2, 3, 4, but we've got some tension there. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, sounds like it. She says, good friend of mine, an amazing artist. Oh, okay. Okay. I like the notes you chose. I always love vocalizing. Yo! Welcome, Uzella. Another rock vocalist just entered the chat with a new song from, you know what, I'll play it next. Right now we're checking out HeavyHead by MzAmi over on BandLab. Make sure you follow at MzAmi.
With each and every embrace, my heavy head becomes
What up, AJ boy? G Chapo, Blue Wave, I see you. Love the rises and falls of this track. Really dynamic. What are you going to give me for the ending? You going to go back to the beginning in the depths of my mind, or are you going to give me a chorus? Okay. Vocalizing? Not much, G Chapo, just living the dream. Thanks for asking. Really good dissonance there. Okay, we're vocalizing on the way out. I can get behind that. Excellent track, MzAmi, and inspired by Samuel Lausen. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced the name. Everyone should jump on over and check out HeavyHead by MzAmi on BandLab at MzAmi out of Cypress, California, USA, repping 3.06 thousand followers, 24 likes on the track, including one of our own, currently 32 plays. Really great progressive rock track. Let's just jump into two things I love and one thing I want more of in this live version of BandLab plus coffee. The first thing that I'm super on board with when it comes to this track is the passage of time in the song here. I understand from what I get, because music is super subjective and it's left in once it leaves your mind and your heart and it's put on the page for the listener, it is no longer yours. The art is yours, but the perception becomes the listener's. And what I really enjoy about this track is the first thing I love is this idea of fighting through a storm. And whether that storm is emotional, physical, whatever it is, although in the lyrics it makes it sound like it's inside of our mind, which, fun fact, I have a song coming out about the very same thing. Our mind is the deepest and darkest place that we can go to. It can also be our greatest asset in life, depending on how we choose to stew. Do we stew on the good or do we stew on the bad? And sometimes small things become large things if we sit and reflect long enough. In fact, I think a study just came out that said half the reason millennials are so depressed and have so much anxiety is because they go to so much therapy, because focusing on all of the hurt and all of the trauma is actually causing them to think about all of the hurt and all of the trauma. It's actually a really neat study. I wish I could link it here, but that's not what we're doing. We're doing music. In the depths of my mind, shadows start to brew. The fear of losing you, it tears me into, there's a really great band from the 90s that had some very profound lyrics on this topic. And those lyrics go, "It's tearing up my heart when I'm with you. But when we are apart, I feel it too. And no matter what I do, I feel the pain, with or without you. If you know, you know." That's the first thing I love. It is these lyrics in this whole process of diving into the mind, using a progressive rock track to really convey that storm when we listen. Kind of calm, but there's tension. You can feel that storm building. And then we're in the middle of the storm, just rocking back and forth on those waves. So that's the first thing I love. The second thing I love about this track is that we're all over the place in terms of dynamics. The melodies aren't consistent enough to be memorable, but they don't repeat so much that it becomes a pop song. A repeating melody is a really great thing in today's music because you can't really have a hit song if you don't have a catchy melody. But when we're doing something like progressive rock or alternative rock and we're hearkening back to those early 2000s bands, Breaking Benjamin, Evanescence, Seether, those really mainstream alt rock bands, they're not really as impressed by pop melodies, right? They're more impressed with angsty guitar riffs that are backed by angsty vocals, right? The go-to. And so that's the second thing I love about this track is that we have something happening here. But that's different than what's happening here. We're letting the guitar do some work, and that's different than what's happening here. You can hear that tone really drop before we get that other vocal that comes in by the chorus. So in a pop song, we would go to the beginning of this chorus and we would hear. We would hear that. I can't go that high. In the depths of my mind, a haunting fear. And then the next part would actually be the same melody. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. And then maybe you change one or two notes. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. But that would be the pop sensibilities of today's music. And here, instead of that return to that melody, we get a continuing storyline, which provides different and more dynamic. So if you're more of a music listener already, you understand and maybe want something a little deeper like this. If you don't listen to music very often, maybe you're more in tune with a repeatable melody. But for someone who grew up listening to alt rock, this is a pretty fun storytelling rhythm. Then we come over here and we get a break. We need a break. You have to give your heart a break from the ups. And then once this down is over, we're going to come back to the highs. And so that's the second thing I love, are the dynamics and the way that the song moves up and down and never really does the same thing twice, which is great. Now, if there's one thing I want more of in this track, it is a little bit of a different mix on the vocals. I want those to stand out a little bit more from this guitar, and I think that would require taking a little bit from the guitar that's masking some of the vocal. And I also think that it really wouldn't hurt to put some transparent layers into the chorus, because what I hear here is this really awesome story, and then once we hit the chorus, we should really explode into that storm. So honestly, 3, 4, 5 more layers, even if it's just the melody, although I'd love some harmonies, but even if it's just the melody, that would really amp it up. And in fact, a little trick, if you take your automation and anytime you get to a chorus, just bump the volume up 1 dB, just one. There's a perceived loudness increase that not only makes the listener feel like, hey, this is louder, but it's actually a little bit louder because you're in the storm of the chorus. So I think that's the one thing that I would want more of. So really excellent track, really great lyrics, this metaphorical storm, really great dynamics, this storytelling. And then the one thing I want more of would be a more bombastic chorus. Fantastic. HeavyHead by MzAmi over on BandLab at MzAmi. and it's already got our like on it. So thanks for waking up, winding up, and queuing up that excellent track with us live. Let's move on to the next one, huh?